If you could witness any event or events, what would it be and why?
There was a bunch of them.
From the past.
I wanted to see Orville and Wilbur Wright fly their airplane. I wanted to see Jesus. I don't know if I could watch the execution, but the story of Jesus, I would like to witness that. I probably would like to witness the last from Palm Sunday to the crucifixion. That week, I would like to spend in Jerusalem to see if it really went down the way they say it went down.
Would you write a book on it?
Would I write a book on it?
Like the Bible.
I mean, if I went back and actually saw it and then came back and wrote a book on it, would I write a book? That's a great question. The thing about it is that you can answer that question in the theoretical by saying, yeah, I could write a book on it, but do I really have the ambition, the follow through to write a book? Look at these pile of papers I got to correct. Do I look like the kind of guy who has to follow through to write a book?
You could be really moved by this event.
Yeah, it'd be extraordinary, I think.
I don't think you'd be moved very much by some bio papers.
Yeah, that's a good point. In other words, I would write a gospel, you're saying. That's what you're saying? Look at that, you're ahead of the curve on that. I just picked that up. Good for you. I missed that. I could be, in other words, I'd go back, witness the whole week, and then I would write a gospel. A gospel according to Mr. Shimmer.
Gospel by Shimmer.
I didn't see anything happen.
You should have wrote that. That would be so funny. Like everybody's like, I
fell asleep. I missed
saw nothing. That would be a great day in church.
I was too tired from the time travel.
Oh, Shimmer. A couple days before and enjoy life, and then
do it. Yeah, there you go.
If you were immortal.
If you were immortal for a day, what would you do?
I forgot my answer to this question. I was immortal.
Just redo it. You're good.
I would go jump off a mountain with a bat suit wing.
You told us about the one guy who had wax wings.
Yeah, so I knew it had something to do with flying, right? Yeah, I was telling you a story about Icarus.
Mm-hmm.
You said you would jump out of a plane.
An airplane?
Yeah, you said that there was somebody that went higher than anybody else jumped out.
That's right. What's his name? Remember that guy, Mr. Singleman, a couple of years ago? He jumped out of the space capsule, did the longest free fall jump. Yeah, that in the hydrogen balloon. Floated up in the space capsule using the hydrogen balloon. But I came up with a better idea. I would do this instead. I think this is great. I'll tell you, if I was young, again, I would learn how to do this. I would learn how to do this sport.
I would go to Mariana's Trench.
Oh yeah, I would swim to the bottom of the ocean.
What's wrong? How come this thing?
I feel like I'd get eaten though. I mean, I'm immortal, but I'd still probably get eaten. Claw my way out.
I think this is really something. I'd like to learn how to kite surf too. I see, because I'm old now, I have bad shoulders, I have banged up elbows. I'm probably too old to do this. Maybe not, but I probably am. But this. Look at this. This.
Can you read that quote to me? Oh,
Forget that quote. That's not the quote. Helen Keller. Oh, maybe it is. Avoiding danger is no safer in the long run than outright exposure. Life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all.
Ooh, and you want to jump off that thing?
Watch.
You cray-cray.
That's...
I got zoom.
There he goes.
He's gonna jump.
The bat suit. Or the wet bat wing suit. That thing right there. See that? I think that that's a neat sport. If I was young, I would try to find out, how do you do this? Probably got to start learn about parachute jump. But he's flying on that winged suit, right? You know what I mean?
Yep.
So look at this.
Music, background music. I'm gonna shut that light over there. I'm like getting blind. Really though, they all got practice.
Ashley's closing the blinds. Dun dun dun. That butt though. There's
Here you
certain
go.
things
Yeah,
that
right
keep
there.
you-
This. You getting this?
Yes, I am.
This is something that people should do. He's gonna fly through that hole. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
See him flying?
Mm-hmm.
Obvious choice. Point of entry is that one. Come out. This side. Yeah, man.
Bat suit flying. You got that?
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, Mr. Shimmer.
All right. That's something you should do. Well, no, because then it's something that I can only speak for myself. I would like to try that. The kite suit, the bat suit flying, kite boarding.
Extreme sports then.
I think extreme sports are fascinating.
Are
We
you next?
worship football players.
Ew.
You could give me a
I
break.
don't really like football.
Yeah.
I don't
I
like any
think it's
sports.
rather boring. They run and then they just get knocked over.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Have you ever had something happen to you that you thought was bad at first but turned out to be great?
Yeah, oh my God, how did I answer this question? There's a million things.
Like how, like, you when you were growing
Well,
up, you weren't a good
right,
kid.
Right. I think, is this where I was talking about how I sort of regret how I handled high school?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, because I don't want to answer the question. There's personal things that have happened to me that I thought were really tragic at the time, but actually turned out to be the best thing that ever happened. Not the best thing that ever happened, but having happened worked out for me much better than had things stayed the same. Do you know? But as far as how I handled high school, here's the thing. I thought about this actually after I gave you my answer on Friday. I do, for whatever reason, regret how I handled myself in high school. I wish I had been a more disciplined student. I wish I had gotten better grades. I wish I had participated in sports
Me too.
more than what I did. Team sports. I mean, I always sailed and I always did all that, but that really wasn't part of the school culture. That was more of a family thing, if anything. But I regret that. I regret not being more a part of the school culture, and I was removed. I was despondent. I was removed from it. But here's the thing. Had I not been that person, then the events in my life that unfolded wouldn't have unfolded that way. And one of the things that I really like about my life is the fact that I was able to, well, after I got thrown out of college a couple times, I was able to take an opportunity and go sailing, in which I worked on tall ships and did a lot of long distance traveling and sailed to Europe and back and lived in Europe off and on for several years, lived in the islands off and on for several years. That shaped me as a human being, and so when I came back at the age of 23 and went to college, it was a whole different experience, and my attitude was completely different because I had grown up in that period of time. I grew up somewhat in that period of time. I grew up enough to know that becoming educated is probably the single most important thing you can do for yourself.
Did you sail with your wife?
No.
That was after.
Before, long before.
That's what. Yeah, you met your wife after.
Yeah.
Bueno.
So those experiences, I never would have had those experiences had I been a good student. Because had I been a good student, I would have stayed in school.
Mm-hmm.
Had I been a good student, I probably never would have become a teacher. I would have probably become something that my father wanted me to become. Probably a doctor or whatever, or a scientist, or, you know,
And then
something more academically involved than you know, a bachelor degree and a master's degree, and you know, becoming a teacher. Not that I think becoming a teacher is a great thing. For me, it worked out better than I could have ever imagined. I like my job. I think I have fun with my job.
We would never know what to do when we're parents.
We have a lot of fun.
We would never know what to do when we became parents. All of us would have constrictor snakes. All of us would have unvaccinated children.
Yeah.
None of our kids would have been read to.
They wouldn't know the carrot seed. They wouldn't.
Yeah.
They wouldn't know green eggs and ham. You got to read them green eggs and ham. Yeah.
1 foot, 2 foot was my favorite, or whatever.
So when I look back on that, I think it worked out the way it was supposed to work out.
Perfect.
And I think that I'm a better teacher having been a terrible student than I would have been if I was a good student. Maybe I would have been, I don't even know how to say that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a very structured person, so I don't know what it would be like to be a structured teacher. Did you learn anything this year?
A lot.
Well, then it must be working. To hell with it. We'll go with that answer.
The things that you taught us is the stuff that we're going to remember, not like the stupid book stuff.
Okay, cool. Then that's what matters.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Ashley?
Yes.
Is it your
Everything
turn?
happens for a reason.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, you just read that one, right?
Or it may not happen
The
for a
bottom
reason,
one?
but
We already
sometimes
did,
you can
'cause he was, like, talking about
serendipitously get lucky.
This one? Yeah. Remember? Because he was like, what he did to get in trouble was he was a bad student in school. So we skip it. But did I read this one or did you?
No, I read it.
Okay. What do you miss most about being a kid?
Time. Absolutely, without a doubt, time. Time is everything. I remember this. This would be a consistent answer. You could probably ask me this a million times, and probably most time my answer would be time. Time is everything in life. Time is the only thing you can't spend twice.
That's so cool. That's a cute one.
An old sailor told me that. Yeah. Gabe was his name. No, not Gabe. Gib. He was a big, heavy, gray-haired old sailor. He's probably dead by now. And he told me that time is the only thing in this world we can't spend twice. Everything else we could do twice, 3 times. But time, once it's gone, and it never comes back. Ever.
Scary. Bum, bum, bum.
But when I was a kid, you could burn up a week. If I burned up a week, sleeping half the week, you know, I'd be out of my mind if I did that. And as you get older, the shorter the time becomes.
Mm-hmm.
Some people say, well, why do you move so slow? And my sarcastic answer is because that way life takes longer. If you move slower, you move, life takes longer. The answer is I don't know why I move slow.
What is something you learned in the last week?
You said the computer chips, like in our heads.
Yeah,
the hybrid humans.
The hybrid humans. No doubt about it, hybrid humans. All of our brains will one day be connected to the internet, if we want them to be.
Who said that?
Who was that dude?
The Google guy.
The Google, that senior engineer at Google. What was his
By
name?
2030.
What was his name? He's a futurist.
Kids be
I'm gonna
getting
skip this
viruses.
I'm skipping that one.
Ray Kurzweil. Ray Kurzweil. Yeah, he said it. And he was 86% right on his last set of predictions from the 1990s.
Almost 100% correct if he changed the timing for some of them.
Right. I think that that's really far out. How we merge with technology, and that probably is what drives the evolution.
Scary. Would you change where you were raised?
No.
Why?
Because I was raised in Lakeview, New York between most of my memories are from the 1970s and 1980s, as far as my youth is concerned. And where I grew up, and having been to a lot of at least the Western world, not, I've never been on the other side of the world, the Pacific. I've never been to the Asian continent, I've never been to New Zealand or Australia, I've never been to any of those places. But in the Western world, in Latin America especially, the islands and whatnot, Lakeview, New York had a magic to it. What a great upbringing. I can't think of any other place to raise children than in Lakeview, New York in the 1970s and 1980s. I would imagine now it's probably boring. I don't think they had the big families now when I was a kid. I came from a family of 8, and the Yurkoviches down the street, they had 10. The Walliers down the street, they had 8 or 10. The Hawkinses had 6. The Moseys had 6. All these, the school bus was really just a matter of about 10 different families all riding a school bus because there were so many children.
That's cool.
That is cool. And it was beautiful to go down to the beach in the summertime and build the fires. And there was always parties going on the beach. It was just fun all the time. When you were a little kid, I remember when we go out on the ice when we were kids. I remember floating around on the icebergs when the ice would break up. We'd jump on the iceberg.
That's unsafe.
Yeah, it was dangerous. In those days, you took risks, and you fell in too, and then you had to run up real fast to the house before you froze. Things could have gone the other way, but they didn't. I just went to speaking of Lakeview, New York, I just went to a funeral for a nephew of a friend of mine. He just died from a freak accident. He was he was 27 years old. He was with his army buddies, and they were out on a golf course or something, and he was hanging off the back of the golf cart, and he fell over, and he hit his head in this freak accident, and 13 days later he died. And that could have happened to us 100 times over growing up as kids. We didn't use cell phones, so we had to use our imagination. My older brothers used to build ice boats in the basement and take them out on the lake.
That sounds fun. You sound like you have a very fun childhood. Mine's very boring. I stay in the house.
Mm-hmm.
I avoid the sun.
We got ice cream.
That's true.
Now,
It's like
these are ice boats. Now, they didn't build anything as elaborate as that, but you get the idea, right? So the inventiveness of the basement was to see if you could construct a frame and put, take the skates off of a pair of ice skates and mount them onto the plywood frame that you built, with a mast, and take some old sheets that my mother would have given them and build a sail with it and see if you can make the thing go. See, today if you go oh, you got my phone. Everybody's got their head in their phone. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not saying this is good or bad, but our youth was that. Everybody was always outside. There was always some inventive thing going. I'll tell you, one of the greatest things growing up in Lakeview, New York in the summertime, besides messing around on the beach, burning and building fires and stuff like that, was playing a game called Ghost. Now, you probably play it now, but we called it Ghost. It was a hide-and-seek game, but it wasn't hide-and-seek in the house. It was hide-and-seek.
It's Manhunt.
Yeah, it's
All over.
In the dark.
In the dark.
Yep,
Manhunt.
that's
So
called
you had
Manhunt.
these huge, there's 3 or 4 properties on the lake with access to the beach, and your area is everywhere. It would be like playing Ghost at Bennett Beach.
Yep.
With 20 or 20 people or 30 people. I mean, what a great game. You hear people's childhood. I don't know if they do that anymore. I watch my own kids. They didn't do that. I'd sit back and I'd watch my own kids. What are you doing? Do something.
Yep, it's called Manhunt. It
Manhunt.
happens in the village a lot.
Great game.
I feel like younger kids, they don't really do it, but I feel like older kids, they start valuing other things, and they start, like, going out
Yeah.
more. Like, I never played that game until, like, I was, like, 16.
I've never played that game before.
I
just know about it.
And it was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really fun.
It is.
Played it a couple times. I think, like, I don't know. I feel like older kids, they start, like, playing those games with their friends, mostly at parties.
Because they
and
want to
stuff,
be
but-
back to be kids again.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
just to, like, put down your phone and, like, go out and do something fun.
Yeah.
I think little kids, like, are too stuck in the time with, like, iPads and stuff.
Right. But that's what they know.
Yeah.
And if you had given me an iPhone when I was 10 years old, I'd have played with the thing until the thing burned out, you know?
Me. I was always outside. Okay, so these are kind of like funnier questions. You're the first one.
Okay.
Are they appropriate?
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like that.
Would you change your genetics so that you would have a full head of hair today?
No.
No.
If you asked me that question when I was 25, I might say yes. But now, no.
You like your bald shiny hair?
I'd go with my bald, shiny head.
You said your favorite quality about yourself was your bald shiny head.
I did?
Yeah. That was in the first video.
Was it?
Like, not even thinking about it. You're like my head.
My bald, shiny head.
Would you bring your grandma back to life so she could tell us how old she is?
My grandma Shimmer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. I would. That would be a great. You know what? When you asked me, you know, now I think of it. When you asked me to go back in time, I'll tell you, one of the things that it would be interesting would be to go back in time and see my grandchildren, or see my grandmother, but also to see my father as he was as a child. That might even trump the Jesus story. I'd have to think about that.
I feel
That would be fascinating to see my father as he was a child. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I wanted to do that too, actually. My dad's pretty nonchalant about everything.
Oh, my mom.
And my mother, I guess.
Well, I grew up with my mom because my mom's so young.
Yeah.
Like, whenever she went out with her friends, I always went with them. So that's how, like, I got to know, like, all those games, but I never played them myself.
Right. But your mom would have. Definitely.
Yeah, my mom played all those games. She'd be out till, like, she said that she would go outside at, like, 11 and she wouldn't come in till, like, 3 in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they would just be playing games outside.
Yeah, it was always outside. It was great. Yeah.
I kind of wish we were born in that generation where we didn't have phones.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
It's
how we do now.
It's definitely changed things.
I don't like it. Okay, this is our last question. Do you secretly wish you were a different race? If so, which one?
Really?
Yeah. It was on this questionnaire thing on the internet.
Do I secretly wish I was a different race?
Maybe, like, at a different time, like...
Like
No.
some Japanese guy back in like the 1700s
1800s
or something.
I don't think I've ever secretly wished I was anything other than what I was. I secretly have to wish this?
No,
No.
just anything.
It's okay. It was just one of the questions that we Googled, and that was like one of the top questions or something like that to ask somebody.
Bless you.
Bless you.
No, I never wanted to be Japanese. I never wanted. Does it have to be race, or can it be an ethnic background?
Anything.
Anything.
Anything other than what I am?
Mhm.
Yes.
Did I ever want to be anything other than what I am?
Mm-hmm.
No,
Never crossed your mind.
I never thought of it. I don't think I've ever thought of that, and not in any secretive like, gee, I wish I was, Portuguese. I never thought of that.
Do you have any last words to say to Miss Morgan?
Hey, I thought we were asking you that 10 question thing.
Oh yeah. Okay, never mind. I'm not done yet. I'm cutting that out. All right, I need to go to this, and we need a pen and a piece of paper.
Got a pencil.
That'll work.
Yeah, I've been using it this whole time.
Wanna switch for a moment?
Ooh, I like this angle. Working it, Mr. Shimmer.
Hmm?
You said you're working it.
What do you
Model
mean?
status.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about you're a model.
A model?
Yeah.
Honey, I got no hair and a big gut. I'm not modeling. I'll tell you what I'm modeling. Only Walmart quadruple X clothes.
This angle, though.
Wait, I don't have to even write this down because we're recording here.
Yeah.
Actually, I want to write it down because when I tell them the answers, I can like, go back. Okay. What's your favorite color?
I like red and I like black.
Okay, well, pick one of them. And then describe it and describe the color or how it makes you feel in 3
Red.
adjectives. Okay, describe it. Describe how it makes you feel in 3 adjectives.
Alive. Warm. Alive and warm.
One more.
Happy.
What's your favorite animal? And do the same.
Which one? Is it land or marine?
Anything
matter.
you want.
Anything?
Anything.
But I have two.
One.
You gotta pick one. Everything is one.
And then describe that animal in 3 adjectives and how it makes you
Elephants.
feel.
Why?
Yeah. Adjectives.
I think elephants are most like us. They're compassionate.
Compassionate.
They're committed to their lives.
Committed to life.
And they look after those around them that are most vulnerable. They do. They really know how to take care of their own. They're unbelievable animals. But I like orca whales too. They're a little more sociopathic than elephants.
This is why we're recording you. Okay. 3. Okay, you're on a path. What is this path? It can be any path that your little heart desires. It could be a dirt road. It could be the school road.
I'll take the dirt road.
Okay.
Describe it.
In adjectives.
Does it have to be a dirt road? Could it be an ocean?
No,
I'll take
it
the
has
dirt.
to-
I'll take a dirt
It has
road.
to be a path.
It has to be a path. A path?
It could be the path to an ocean.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I got one. So it's. I got those Savannah. I'll tell you what it is. Here's.
I hear us giggling in the background.
I like these kinds of things. Doesn't that make you feel alive?
Like the endless ones.
Yeah, that doesn't make you feel alive. But I like pads. I also like these kinds of pads too.
How does those paths make you feel? And describe them in 3 adjectives.
Well, this type of a path makes me feel, number one, young, like when I was a kid, right? It also makes me feel limitless possibilities.
And one more.
Happy,
Happy?
happy.
That's your go-to?
That's my
Okay,
go-to.
on your path.
Alive, man. It makes you feel alive.
Okay, at the end of, or on your path, there is an object. What is this object? You can pick up anything on the entire planet. Like, what's your object that you're going to pick up? And what is it? What is its significance?
I'm going to pick up an object. Any object. It has to be three-dimensional. And what is its significance?
Yeah. What's your object first?
Why do you want to pick it up?
I could think of a million things.
One thing.
This one.
It's gonna be one of those flat shale black stones that you find on the beach of Lake Erie. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. Why?
So I could throw it in the water and skip the stones across the water.
Skip stones. Okay. Like, why do you want to skip that stone though? Like,
Because
what's
I
cool about it?
spent all of my youth skipping stones
So
on
like
the water.
childhood memories.
Absolutely. It was a time of infinite peace. It was a time of infinite security, infinite worrylessness. Is that even a word? Ask Mrs. Morgan if that's a worrylessness is a word. If it's not, I just made it up. Infinite worrylessness.
The Shimmer Dictionary.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Shakespeare made up his own words.
It was a time of comfort, knowing I was loved unconditionally, cared for. You can't beat that magic. And that's why you have to be parents like that. You can't, that doesn't mean go and spoil the kid so it winds up a jerk. No, you have to give them security, but freedom and responsibility at the same time. And hold them accountable for that responsibility.
On the side of your path, there is a body of water. What is this body of water?
The Atlantic Ocean.
Why? Describe how it makes you feel. Describe the ocean.
The ocean makes me feel like that life always has possibilities. There's always a new day to life. Always. You can never give up. Never. Every day has a new day.
Describe describe it with an adjective.
I did it.
Like one word.
Yeah, this supposed to be one-word answers.
Really?
Yeah.
Life's not a one-word answer.
That's good.
The ocean,
Endless.
endless possibilities.
All right, sure.
All right, possibilities.
6. Okay. Oh, I forgot one. In the middle of your path, there is an obstacle. What is this obstacle, and how do you get around it?
My father is the obstacle.
Interesting. How do you get around him?
Don't listen to him. Conflicting stories, isn't it? Conflicting, isn't it? Isn't that weird how that works?
At the end of your path, there is a building. What is this building, and how do you feel as you walk toward it?
I got a great one for this. You know what it's going to be? And it's not religious. But maybe it is. I wouldn't say it's religious. I would say it's more spiritual, right? But I would say it's a chapel.
A chapel?
And when I was with my parents, do you remember that? Do you remember when I showed you the photographs from 1984? When I was in Europe, when we went back to Hungary? Well, we went to Germany also during that trip. And we went to this area of Germany called Munster. And we went to see these palaces, right? And in this one particular castle, they had its own chapel. Okay? And I don't know why, because I didn't go to church much when I was a kid. I mean, I don't go to church much now. It's not about church. I don't think it had to do with the church, the churchy thing of it. Mm-hmm. I just thought I remember it was like, because when you think it's like a chapel or a church, that was something that you went and drove down to the street to go to church. But here was this big stone castle, and next to the castle was the chapel. So they walked out of their castle on Sunday and went to the chapel, to church. And it had pews and everything. It had statues, right? Mm-hmm. And I thought to myself, this is the coolest thing in the whole world. They got your house, and then on the side you got your chapel, right? And I remember I tell my wife 1,000,000 times, if I ever win the lottery, we get a nice big house, I'm going to build a chapel.
How do you feel as you walk toward that chapel?
Like I've I'm living a dream. A dream come true. The dreams are coming true.
So, the color.
But it's not so much about God as it is about building the chapel. Do you understand?
Yes.
The actual construction of it. That spiritual thing is about the here and the now part of it.
Like the architecture of it?
Everything about it. Yeah, the architecture, the art, the stained glass, the statues, the pews, the steps going down into the chapel. The building of that, the creating of that.
That's a good way to put it.
I mean, how many people do that in life? Oh, they build their cars, they build their houses, they build their motorcycles, they build their boats. But not everybody builds a chapel.
This is true.
True.
Yeah. That was a big thing in life. And you want to know something? I was probably sitting there with a hangover because my sister and I were probably drinking too much wine. Because we went on that trip, we went on a wine tasting tour too. And you're supposed to spit the wine out into the cup. No, we were drinking it. We drank too much. And then the next day, you know, because it was some kind of a medical meeting that my dad had to go to. So the families who went, then they had these bus tours to the area. We went to Dusseldorf, and so we were this area around Dusseldorf. And so we went to see these castles. This castle, I don't know why it had such an effect on me, because I'm not a churchy person, but I just thought it was the coolest thing in the world is to have your own chapel.
It's pretty cool.
It is cool, yeah. And you have to see it. That's the thing about life, you have to see it.
Okay,
It's
you
a
ready?
good one of voice. Okay. So the color is how you see yourself, like what you aspire to be. So you see yourself as alive and warm and happy.
Yeah, but I'm not alive. I'm alive and warm, but I'm not happy.
You're not happy.
No, I'm okay. You know, yeah, you get somewhat content.
You're
Okay.
All right.
You know, but they're happy people, they make me nervous. Don't they make you nervous? What are you so happy about? You know?
Ashley's too happy right now. It's making me feel uncomfortable.
We should change red to serene.
Okay.
I want to be serene.
You want to be
Happy's the default stupid word.
Okay.
That was your fall to word, though.
Yeah. Okay, the elephant is what people see you as. So people see you as compassionate, committed to life, and you look after those around you that are vulnerable.
I don't know if everybody would agree with that. Don't tell Mrs. Shimmer. She might have a different answer.
What do you think she'd say about you?
Mrs. Shimmer?
Mm-hmm.
Depends on what day you ask. I have no idea how to answer that question. I wouldn't even hazard a guess.
Bless you. The path to the ocean is. What was the path to the ocean?
How you see your life?
How would you see
yeah,
it?
how
What
you see
about
it.
that elephant? Does that describe me?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah,
Do I
so.
look
I think
after people that are
I think it's
vulnerable?
on point.
You think, really?
Pretty on point. You're
All right,
pretty
well, then there
committed
you
to
go.
life, that's for sure.
All right.
The path is how you see your life and like how you are right now. So you're still young. You still have limitless possibilities, and you're happy and alive.
Happens. Yeah. Somewhat.
I just think you have a young heart. I think that's really what that means.
Cool. That's important to have a young heart.
Mm-hmm. The stone you picked up is how you pick your relationships.
Oh my God! I throw them away, don't I? Let's see. Well, let's see. Throw this to see if it skips across the water. Oh, it sank. Now move on to somebody else. All right. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh my God! It makes me feel comfortable and worryless and stuff.
That's what that means? Picking up stones and throwing
No,
them?
that's just what you said.
Oh.
Okay. The obstacle.
Worrylessness.
The obstacle is the obstacles in your life and how you deal with them. So, your obstacle in your life was your father, and you didn't listen to him.
Yeah. That sums it up. If I got a brother that listened, and he's got a big fancy house on Hillsborough in Orchard Park.
Really?
Yeah, but he didn't sail across any oceans. Bye. Where are you guys going?
I have to go to my
I thought you were going to the library.
We can dance.
Oh.
I handed in all my work that
Oh,
I know.
thank you. Great.
All my work's handed in too.
All right.
What your stuff? Come on.
You know, I would change that obstacle from my father to myself, though.
Why?
Because many times we are our own obstacle. We get in our way more than anybody else does. It wouldn't be fair to just dump it off on my dad. I mean, if anybody's in my way, it's me.
That's a good way to
That
put
would be a more honest answer.
it.
The selfish answer would be to say, yeah, he messed it up.
Mine was
My
cows.
dad was pretty awesome, though. I mean, he showed me. I mean, he did a lot for me. He showed me a world that I couldn't imagine. I mean, he brought the world to our dinner table every night. I mean, if I would say the biggest educator of all in my life was my father, no doubt about it. He was my greatest teacher.
It's just at the time you didn't see it like that.
I didn't always see him as that. No. Everything he predicted would come true too. It was remarkable.
The ocean is how you view love and romance and really and like all that kind of thing, like how you think of it. And you said life always has possibilities and never give up. So you went from throwing that rock away and just picking up another one to never giving up.
Well,
So you got pretty mixed feelings.
So, yeah, but doesn't everybody have their hypocrisies? Wasn't I telling you about that on Friday? So what? So what's
Oh,
this
there you
mean?
go.
So what do I got? What, I got a split personality by now, or
Guess
is that
so.
where we're at?
That's so.
I got a split personality. I got a couple of personalities.
Because you're one animal and the other one was psychopathic or something. And we're like, okay.
Sociopathic killer whale.
Yeah. I really wish you would have picked that one. Because then we would have been like, he's a serial killer.
Yeah.
We all know it.
Yeah.
And the chapel is how you like how you feel about an afterlife. Like when you die, that's like how you're gonna feel. So,
You mean that's really what that is? So I chose the chapel, and it really was the afterlife. Now that's cool. Do you see what I mean? Isn't spiritual part of it? You know, don't you wish we could talk about that stuff in class? It's
we
kinda-
do with you.
Yeah. But I mean, because don't you see that there's a spiritual component to our life? Do you believe that, or is it just a physical thing?
I don't know. I'm
don't know.
atheist, so I don't know. I think that like weird things happen for a reason. Like,
But why did I choose chapel? I had no idea you were asking me an afterlife question. You were asking me a
Miss McGough said the same
metaphysical. She said a chapel?
She said a church.
A church? Did she say she wanted to build her own church in her own
No.
backyard?
No,
That's,
actually,
that's,
Miss
the, that's the big thing.
So you're saying you want to build your own afterlife?
You want to make your own up, pretty much. Miss McGough is like the happiest person like I've ever like done this test for. Like every single answer was like, I love life, I'm so happy, cheerful. Like she's like a really happy human being.
Yeah, she is.
All right.
I would agree with that.